All right, welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're heading into the world of TikTok. But not for the usual dance trends or, viral challenges.
Yeah.
We're going to explore something a little different today. We're talking about making money on TikTok. And get this, without ever showing your face.
Exactly. We've got this super interesting guide, originally written in Spanish, that breaks down exactly how to do this.
Ooh, a Spanish guide, huh? So spill the beans. What's the secret sauce? What have you uncovered?
Well, it's from a TikToker who's actually built multiple accounts and get this, racked up over 500 million views.
Wow, 500 million. That's huge.
Yeah, and turn those views into, some serious cash. So they definitely know what they're talking about.
Okay, so this isn't just some random person claiming to have the secrets. This is someone who's actually done it. Color me intrigued.
Right. It's pretty impressive. And what's really cool is they emphasize that this isn't about like some secret loophole or trick.
Right.
It's all about leveraging TikTok's creativity program beta.
Okay, the Creativity Program Beta. Now, for those who haven't heard of it, what's that all about?
Basically, it pays creators based on the views they get on videos, but the videos have to be over a minute long.
Okay, so longer form content, not just those quick, snappy videos.
Right. There's definitely a strategy to it.
So it's an official program, not some, get-rich-quick scheme. Makes sense.
Exactly. And they go into all the details about how it works, like the eligibility requirements. You need, I think it's 10,000 followers and 100,000 views in the last 30 days.
Okay, so you need some traction before you can even apply. Makes
There you
sense.
go.
You can't just start from zero and expect to get paid.
Right. And you also have to be over 18, of course.
Right, gotcha. But again, there's more to it than just meeting those basic requirements.
Yeah, there are some nuances that a lot of people miss, and this guide really dives deep into them.
Okay, like what kind of nuances are we talking about?
Well, have you ever heard of qualified views?
Qualified views. I'm not sure I have, actually.
Yeah.
Fill me in.
It's super important. Basically, for a view to actually count towards your earnings, the viewer has to watch at least 5 seconds of your video.
5 seconds. That's interesting. So I could have a video with like millions of views, but if people are just scrolling past, it doesn't really translate to earnings.
Right. That's exactly the point. Most people just focus on overall views, but those 5 seconds are like crucial.
Oh, that changes the game. So it's not just about going viral. It's about creating content that actually keeps people engaged for at least those initial few seconds.
Yeah, and that's where the guide gets really interesting. They give you all these strategies to maximize those qualified views.
Okay, spill it. What kind of strategies are we talking about?
Well, one of the things they suggest is incorporating a second video alongside your main content.
2 videos at once. Like a split screen kind of thing?
Yep, precisely. They recommend using visually engaging content for that second video, stuff that really catches people's attention, like, clips from video games.
Video games. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, like clips from Grand Theft Auto or GTA.
For TA, oh yeah, I can see how that would grab attention. Lots of action and visuals happening there.
Right. And the main video, it could be educational or entertaining or whatever your niche is.
Okay, so like I'm learning about, I don't know, personal finance tips.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm watching like a high-speed car chase from GTA. So I'm visually hooked.
Exactly. It's a way to keep people from just, scrolling past.
Clever. I never would have thought of that. So I guess the question is, how do you actually create these split screen videos? Any specific tools they recommend?
They do. There's this AI tool called QuickTalk.
Quick talk. Okay, tell me more.
It makes the whole process surprisingly easy. You just upload your main video, and QuickTalk, it basically handles all the formatting.
So it does the split screen for you? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it even uses facial recognition to keep, the speaker centered in the frame if you're using a video with the person talking.
Oh, wow. So even though we're talking about faceless TikTok, you could still incorporate videos of yourself or others.
Right, exactly. You've got options, and it also has options for subtitles, which is, essential for accessibility.
Right, reaching a wider audience. That's super important.
Absolutely. The guide emphasizes that inclusivity, it can really broaden your reach.
Yeah, makes total sense. Okay, so we've got QuickTalk handling the technical side of things. But what about the actual videos themselves? Like, where do you get the content to use? I'm thinking, copyright issues and all that.
Yeah, that's a good point. They suggest using content that falls under Creative Commons licensing.
Creative Commons. Okay, I've heard of that, but I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
Basically, it means you can use the content legally as long as you follow the specific terms of the license. And YouTube actually has a Creative Commons filter you can use to find tons of videos.
The Creative Commons filter. That's handy. So I could use like clips from documentaries or nature scenes or, whatever fits my niche.
Yeah, exactly. It opens up a lot of possibilities.
So many options.
Yeah.
This is making my head spin a little. Okay, so I'm finding all this awesome content on YouTube.
Right.
I'm using QuickTalk to create my fancy split-screen videos. I'm adding subtitles for accessibility.
Yeah.
But I'm sensing there's still a piece missing here. Like, how do I even decide what kind of content to create in the first place? I'm assuming, niche selection is a big part of this.
Oh, absolutely. It's actually even more important than you might think.
Okay, I'm all ears. Why is that?
Well, for one thing, it impacts the visuals you can use, right? Like if your niche is, say, underwater basket weaving.
Underwater basket weaving? Okay, that's pretty specific.
Right. It might be tough to find, high quality Creative Commons footage that really fits that theme.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. So finding a niche that aligns with readily available content is key.
Exactly. They suggest brainstorming a few ideas based on, your passions.
Okay, what am I interested in?
Right. And then using TikTok trends and hashtag analysis to see if there's an audience for those topics.
So I need to make sure there's actually a demand for the kind of content I want to create.
Yep. You don't want to pour your heart into something that nobody's going to watch, right?
Right. Makes sense. So let's say I've done my research. I found my niche. I'm feeling good. What's next? I mean, how do I actually create this faceless TikTok account? Is there anything specific about the setup process that I need to know?
There is, actually. The guide recommends starting with a fresh Google account.
A fresh Google account? Where's that?
Well, they say it helps avoid any potential algorithm issues, like if you've got an existing account that's been, shadow banned or something.
Oh, right. We've all heard those horror stories about shadow bans.
Yeah, you don't want to risk that. And it also ensures you're starting with a clean slate, no baggage from any previous activity.
Okay, so it's like creating a separate identity for this venture. Makes sense.
Exactly. And this is where things get a little techie.
Oh, techie. I'm intrigued. Let's hear it.
So since the Creativity Program beta isn't available everywhere, they recommend using a VPN.
A VPN. Okay, that's next level stuff. I've heard of VPNs, but never really used one.
Basically, it masks your real location and makes it look like you're browsing from somewhere else.
So even your virtual location plays a role in all of this. Wow.
Yeah, they specifically recommend using a VPN to simulate being in the U.S.
The U.S. Okay, so I'm guessing that's where the Creativity Program beta is most accessible.
Right, exactly.
But hold on, if I'm using a VPN, wouldn't TikTok still be able to see my actual location? Like through my IP address or something?
That's a good question, and that's why they recommend using a specific browser called Brave.
Brave. Okay, another new tool to add to my arsenal. What's so special about Brave?
Well, it's known for being very privacy-focused, so it's less likely to, leak your true location, even when you're using a VPN.
Oh, so it's like creating layers of protection just to be extra safe.
Exactly. It's about working strategically within the system.
Okay, this is starting to feel like a spy mission. VPNs, secret browsers. I'm loving it.
Right. It's all very hush-hush. So once you've got the VPN and the Brave browser all set up, you'll sign up for TikTok using your new Google account. And make sure you select an age over 18.
Right, got to meet those eligibility requirements.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a fresh start in a new location with a new identity. This is wild.
It is, right? It's a whole new way to approach TikTok, and we're just getting started.
Oh, I can't wait to hear more. So now that the account is all set up, what's next? What kind of content magic are we going to create?
That's what we're going to dive into in part 2.
Okay, I'm hooked. Can't wait to unpack all of that. This is going to be good.
All right, welcome back. Ready to get into some actual content strategies from this TikTok guide?
Absolutely. Part 1, definitely got the wheels turning, thinking about all the possibilities. But yeah, setting up the account is one thing. It's the content itself, where the real magic happens.
You got it. And this guide, it really emphasizes that you got to think like a silent storyteller, basically.
A silent storyteller.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, you need to, capture attention visually, keep people engaged without relying on your, personality or like your voice and all that.
Right.
And deliver value, but do it concisely. It's a challenge for sure.
It's almost like, back in the day, creating those old silent films. You have to convey everything through visuals and I guess, clever use of text on screen.
That's a great analogy. And speaking of tools that can help, Quick Talk, remember that AI thing we talked about?
Yeah.
That can be your secret weapon here.
Yeah. Quick Talk, the split screen wizard.
Exactly. It takes care of all that technical stuff so you can focus on the creative side.
Love it.
Yeah.
Less time fiddling with software, more time brainstorming amazing ideas.
Right. So we've got Quick Talk handling the split screen, the subtitles, we're sourcing content from YouTube, all that good stuff. What kind of actual content do they recommend?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right?
It is. And one of the things they stress is really analyzing what's already working in your niche. Don't just look at surface level trends. Yeah.
Okay, so I shouldn't just jump on whatever hashtag is, trending at the moment.
Right. Dive deep into those popular hashtags, not just the volume, but the kind of videos that are doing well under them.
So if my niche is fitness and I see, I don't know, hashtag home workout trending, I need to look at the top performing videos and figure out what they're doing right.
Exactly. And it might not be obvious at first, Maybe those top videos, they all have a similar editing style or music choice or even the types of exercises they show.
Ah, so I'm looking for those patterns, those subtle things that are resonating with the audience, even if they're faceless videos.
Yeah, it's about understanding why something's working, not just blindly copying it.
Okay, that's a really good point. I'm taking notes over here. All right, so I've done my analysis. I've got a good grasp of what's working, what's next.
Consistency. They're big on consistency. Aim for at least one video per day, if not more.
Whoa, one video a day. That sounds like a lot, especially if we're talking about, high quality, engaging content. And remember, we're doing all this without showing our faces.
Right, but that's where Quick Talk scheduling feature comes in handy. You can batch create a bunch of videos, schedule them out, and let the tool do its thing.
Yeah. So I could spend a Sunday afternoon creating a whole week's worth of content and then just let it roll out automatically.
Exactly. Frees up your time to focus on other things like engaging with your audience.
Okay, engagement. We touched on it briefly before, but why is it so crucial, especially with this faceless approach?
Well, think about it. You don't have, your personality, your facial expressions, all that to connect with people directly.
Right.
You got to compensate for that somehow. And the algorithm, it loves to see videos that spark conversation, comments, shares, likes, all that good stuff.
So it's not just about getting views. It's about the quality of those views and the level of interaction they're generating.
Yeah. A video with 10,000 views and tons of comments, it's going to be seen as way more valuable than a video with 50,000 views and crickets.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But how do you actually encourage that engagement, especially when, you're not physically there interacting with people?
The key is to think of your videos as conversation starters, Ask questions in your videos, run polls, host Q&As, encourage people to share their experiences in the comments, that kind of thing.
So it's about prompting people to participate, even if I'm not directly talking to them face to face.
Right. And you can get creative with it, you know, do challenges, contests, all sorts of stuff to get people involved.
I like that. Challenges, yeah. Those can definitely go viral.
Exactly. It's all about finding those little hooks that get people talking and interacting.
Right. So we're creating engaging content, scheduling it consistently, fostering those conversations in the comments. How do we know if all this is actually working?
Data, my friend.
Wow.
TikTok analytics. Don't just glance at your views and followers. Really dive deep into the numbers. Look at your audience demographics, engagement rates, average watch time. All that tells a story.
So I should be analyzing which types of content are getting the most engagement, which hashtags are driving traffic, all of that.
Yeah. And then adjust your strategy accordingly. Maybe you notice that your videos about a specific subtopic within your niche are doing way better than others. That's a sign to, lean into that area.
So it's a constant cycle of create, analyze, adapt. It's almost like running a science experiment, testing different variables to see what works best.
Love that analogy. It's all about optimization. The more you learn about your audience and what they respond to, the better you can tailor your content.
Okay, I'm feeling like a data-driven TikTok strategist over here.
Yeah.
But let's not forget the end goal, right? We're doing all this to, make some money. So how does all this content strategy translate into actual earnings?
So the creativity program beta, that's the foundation. But there's more to it than just, hitting the view count requirement. The guide talks a lot about maximizing your RPM.
RPM. Okay, break that down for me.
Revenue per mil. Basically, how much TikTok pays you per 1,000 views.
Oh, so there are ways to increase that RPM even if my view count stays the same. Now we're talking.
Exactly. And one of the things they emphasize is understanding peak engagement times.
Peak engagement times. Okay, I'm listening.
Like, when is your audience most active on TikTok? Posting during those times, it can lead to higher RPM because more people are likely to actually watch your videos, for those crucial 5 seconds or more.
So timing is everything. Makes sense.
Yep. And they also talk about the importance of video completion rates.
Video completion rates. Okay, what's that all about?
Basically, the longer people watch your videos, the higher your RPM tends to be. So even though you need that 1 minute mark for qualified views, aiming for longer watch times overall can be beneficial.
So even though I technically only need people to watch for a minute to get paid, I actually want them to watch the whole thing if possible.
Exactly. And that goes back to, creating captivating content. You want people to be so hooked that they watch until the very end.
Right, right. Keep them glued to the screen. Okay, I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. The niche, the content, the timing, the visuals, it all plays a role.
It does, it does. But there's one more piece of this puzzle that the guide reveals, and it's a big one. External monetization.
Ooh, external monetization. Now we're talking. We've covered the creativity program beta, but what are these other strategies they're talking about? Give me the scoop.
That's what we'll be covering in part 3. Get ready for some serious money-making strategies that go beyond just relying on TikTok's internal program.
All right, we're back for the final part of our faceless TikTok deep dive. We've covered choosing a niche, creating content, figuring out that algorithm, and now it's time for the really exciting part, right? External monetization. Spill the beans.
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting. The guide, it kind of frames it as like you're not just building a TikTok account, you're building a business.
Ooh, a business. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are these external strategies? I'm dying to know.
Well, one of the most powerful ones is affiliate marketing.
Affiliate marketing. Okay, I've heard that term thrown around, but to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what it means. Break it down for me.
Sure. It's basically, recommending products or services that fit with your niche. And then you get a commission on any sales that are made through your special links.
Yeah. So like if my niche is, I don't know, tech gadgets,
Right.
I could like showcase some cool new headphones and then include an affiliate link in my bio or maybe in the video description.
Exactly. And the key is to, be authentic about it. Don't just push products for the sake of like getting a commission.
Right.
Focus on providing real value to your audience.
Makes sense. If people feel like I'm just trying to, sell them something, they're not going to trust my recommendations.
Exactly. It's all about trust and credibility. Like the guide gives an example of a faceless account that focuses on recipes.
Recipes.
Yeah, and they create these, really mouth-watering videos.
Yeah, I can have
And then they link to like the cooking tools they used or the ingredients.
Clever. So they're capitalizing on the fact that people are already engaged with the content and they're making it easy to buy the things they need to recreate those recipes.
Yep, exactly. It's a subtle way to like turn your passion into a storefront almost.
I love it. Okay, so affiliate marketing, that's one avenue. What else have they got?
Well, they also talk about selling digital products or services.
Ooh, digital products. Now that sounds interesting. What kind of things are we talking about?
It really depends on your niche, right? But let's say your niche is like productivity.
Productivity.
You could create and sell digital planners or templates or even like online courses.
Courses, yeah. Teaching people how to, get more done in less time or whatever. I could see that working.
Right. It's about taking your expertise in a particular area and packaging it into something that people are willing to pay for.
And since I'm faceless, it's all about the value of the information itself, not, my personality or whatever.
Exactly. It puts the focus on the content, not the creator.
I like that. Okay, so we've got affiliate marketing, we've got digital products. My mind is racing with possibilities here. But before we get too carried away, are there any downsides to this faceless approach? Any potential risks I should be aware of?
That's a good question. And, every approach has its challenges. I think one thing to be mindful of is like maintaining consistency and quality over time.
Right, because I'm not relying on, my face or my personality to build a brand. It's all on the content itself to be top-notch.
Yep. And that can be a lot of work, especially if you're running multiple accounts like the guide suggests.
Multiple accounts, wow. Yeah, that does sound like a lot to juggle.
It is. You got to be organized, efficient, always coming up with fresh ideas.
So it's not just about, slapping together a few videos and watching the money roll in.
Yeah.
There's some real effort involved.
Definitely. But the rewards can be huge if you do it right.
Okay, so no overnight riches, but the potential is there. if I'm willing to put in the work.
Exactly. And, don't forget about staying informed. TikTok's always changing things up, so what works today might not work tomorrow.
Right, right. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving landscape.
It is. Always be learning, experimenting, refining your strategies.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired, but also, like, I need to buckle down and do my homework.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening. I never even considered this whole faceless approach before.
It's definitely a different way to think about TikTok, but, it's a way to tap into a whole new audience and a whole new set of monetization options.
And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has given you some ideas and maybe even sparked some inspiration. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next faceless TikTok sensation.
It could happen. Remember, it's not about tricks or shortcuts. It's about creativity and strategy and, putting in the effort. So go out there, experiment, have fun, and see what you can create. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.